Thank you so much. Well, I am correct. I am a professor at the Royal Institute of Technology, but more importantly is that I'm based in the city of Kiruna. And the city of Kiruna is a city some 300 kilometers south of Tromsø, and it's a mining town. And my town is faced with two challenges. The first one is that we have to relocate the city. The present city has to be demolished, and we have to move our city to a new location, and that's a challenge in itself. The other one concerns sustainability over time, and that the question really raised in Kiruna is, will our city exist 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now? So these are the two challenges. I will come back to them. Kiruna was born in the early 20th century, and it was founded at the same time as they discovered the iron ore. As the iron ore industry expanded, the city of Kiruna grew, and by 1975 or something like that, we peaked in terms of population. We had 30,000 inhabitants. It was a flourishing city. But since then, we have been shrinking. So now, today, we are only 23,000. Why have we been shrinking? We have been shrinking for the obvious reason that the iron ore industry is becoming more and more modern and more effective. So machinery and automation is taking over the jobs. So you might have this image of an iron ore worker as a man, a big man with lots of muscles, taking out the iron ore. Nothing could be more wrong. Today, only 5% of the jobs in the mine of Kiruna demands really physical strength. This means that also the composition of population has changed. I mean, Kiruna was built as a working class town. Today, most of the employees at the mining company are white-collar workers and many with rather high education. This also means that their preferences and their ideas and their dreams about the city that we are to develop are very different from the way that Kiruna was built up as a working class town. So the mine is actually doing fine. They're taking out more iron ore now than ever, but still the number of employees constantly drops. So it was 5,000 employees in the 1970s. Today there are only 2,000 left. So that's one of our challenges. But it's not the only one. We have one more problem, and that is also related to the iron ore activity. The iron ore body doesn't go straight down into the ground. It goes in an angle, and the 60-degree angle that the iron ore body has means that it points straight to the city. So in a very short time from now, iron ore will be taken out from underneath the city. And even though they're taking out the iron ore on the depth of 1 kilometer, you still get the cracks on the ground. So the city has to move. For up till now, I think I presented a rather depressing picture. We are losing jobs and we have to relocate the city. But as you can see from me, we are not depressed. We see this as a fantastic opportunity to really develop something interesting. And mind you, our population has started to grow again. Despite this loss of work opportunity in the mine, we are now seeing a rather rapid growth in population. And this rapid growth depends on the realization among politicians in Kiruna that we cannot rely on the mine. I mean, we're losing jobs there, and one day it's not an endless resource. One day the iron ore will be out. So what we have done is to really prioritize two other fields of industry in order to broaden our labor market. And the first, I think, is the most interesting. That's the space industry. It started with a rather small group of researchers coming up, focusing on specific studies of the atmosphere. But gradually, step by step, things have been added. So now we're launching up rockets, we're launching satellites, and we have also developed educational programs, both on the graduate and on PhD levels. So this step by step, developing something which has good conditions for growing in the local community. The other thing that is, of course, expanding right now is the tourism industry. I guess we have the same situation in Norway. We have experienced a doubling of the number of visitors over the last 10 years. So just saying the words nature, silence, wilderness is enough to really make it possible to realize the potential of the tourism industry. So expanding and broadening the industry base, that is one of the features we have. The other challenge is, of course, to creating a new city. We have to relocate the city, and we see it as an opportunity. And if we look around today, we can see that the catchword of today in all urban development, urban planning, is the word attractiveness. That's one of the catchwords. Every city has the ambition to develop attractive city center. Words such as walkability, social meeting places, events, attractions are on the agenda of more or less every city. And that means that you sometimes have a problem in a fixed environment, an already built environment, to provide all these attractions. But we are doing it from scratch, so we think that we have a wonderful opportunity to really create an attractive city. So we think that we have really something to do. We can really attract things. We have the workplaces, we are building the attractive city center. Some argue, though, that even though we have this, it will be hard for us to expand and hard for us to grow. Some people say, you're too cold, it's too dark, you have winter 6 months a year. Yes, that's right. But a few people say, of course it's cold, it's dark, but we don't have congestions here. And if you like nature, and if you're really fond of being close to nature, it might be that you find it attractive. If you make the assumption that 1% of Swedes would say that we prefer Kiruna to Stockholm, despite the coldness and the darkness, that would mean that we have a potential for having 100,000 inhabitants in Kiruna. And that is something that we think about and look forward to the bright future.